Ever had to stand up to someone you thought was family? Well, let me take you back to my wedding day. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but that joy was tainted by the looming presence of my soon-to-be mother-in-law, Patricia. Patricia was a force to be reckoned with. Picture a woman who believed she knew best about everything and wasn't afraid to make it known. She had a certain charm, sure, but it was the kind that concealed her need to control everything and everyone around her. As my husband and I planned our wedding, Patricia's controlling nature began to surface. She insisted on dictating every detail, from the color of the bridesmaids' dresses to the choice of flowers. It felt like she was trying to relive her own wedding through ours. My discomfort grew as Patricia's influence over the wedding planning intensified. It felt like I was losing my voice, my choices, in what was supposed to be a celebration of our love. I wanted a simple, intimate affair, but Patricia had other plans. The strain this put on my relationship with my husband was palpable. He was caught between his love for me and his duty to his mother. It pained me to see him so conflicted, but I also knew that I couldn't let Patricia steamroll over our plans. As the wedding day approached, I found myself questioning if I was making the right decision. Was I ready to marry into a family with such a domineering presence? But love has a way of pushing us through challenging times, and I chose to believe in the strength of our bond. I hoped things would get better after the wedding, but boy, was I wrong. Fast forward a year, and we were expecting our first child, but with pregnancy came a power struggle. The joy of anticipating a new life was somewhat dimmed by Patricia's incessant meddling. It started with the nursery. We had envisioned a peaceful haven with soft colors and a whimsical woodland theme. Patricia, however, had different plans. She pushed for a more traditional nursery, complete with frills and antique furniture. Each time I made a decision, Patricia would undermine it, subtly suggesting that her ideas were better. She seemed to forget that this was our child, our nursery, our decision. The tension was palpable and my stress levels were soaring. I was carrying a child, not a pawn in Patricia's power game. Yet, it felt like every choice I made was an opportunity for Patricia to assert her authority. And if you think that was bad, wait till you hear about the baby shower. The baby shower should have been a joyful event, but it turned into a battlefield. The celebration was tainted by Patricia's calculated maneuvers. She had taken it upon herself to organize the event, and in a strikingly manipulative move, she intentionally left my mother off the guest list. When I confronted her, she feigned surprise, claiming it was a mere oversight. But I knew better. This was just another one of her power plays, a blatant attempt to assert dominance and control. My mother was devastated, and I was livid. This was supposed to be a day of happiness and anticipation, a day to celebrate the upcoming arrival of my baby. Instead, it was marred by Patricia's underhanded tactics and the resulting family tension. Her actions deepened the rift between us, souring what should have been a sweet occasion. I felt a mix of sadness and anger, but above all, a growing determination. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Labor Day arrived. Childbirth is intense enough without your mother-in-law calling security on your own mom. Picture this. I'm in labor, focused on bringing a new life into the world. It's supposed to be a beautiful moment, a precious memory, but instead it's a battlefield, and I'm caught in the crossfire between my mother and my mother-in-law, Patricia. Patricia had always been controlling, but on this day, she took it to a whole new level. She'd decided that she was in charge of the delivery room, dictating who could and couldn't be there. And of course, she decided that my mom didn't make the cut. The audacity of it. My mom, who had been by my side, supporting me through every contraction, was suddenly being told to leave. In the midst of my labor pains, I had to deal with Patricia's outrageous demand. It was as if she'd forgotten that I was the one in labor, not her, but it didn't stop there. When my mom refused to leave, Patricia called security. Yes, you heard that right. She actually called security on my mom in the middle of my labor. The situation escalated quickly. The tension in the room was palpable as security arrived. I remember the confusion on their faces, the disbelief. They were as stunned as we were by Patricia's audacious move. It was a scene straight out of a soap opera, except this was my life, my labor, my moment being hijacked. The emotional toll was immense. I was already dealing with the physical stress of labor, and now I had this added layer of emotional turmoil. It was disheartening, it was maddening, but mostly, it was just incredibly sad. My happy moment was being clouded by this unnecessary drama. But then, something unexpected happened. In the midst of the chaos, my best friend Emma revealed something that would change everything. My heart pounded as Emma stepped forward, a determined look on her face. "I have something to show you," she said, pulling out her phone. Over the past few months, Emma had been quietly recording Patricia's manipulative behavior. She'd captured the undermining comments, the power plays, and the blatant disrespect for my decisions. Emma had been my silent guardian, patiently gathering evidence to expose Patricia's true intentions. In the heat of the delivery room, she played the recordings for all to hear. The room fell silent, save for the damning words echoing from Emma's phone. Patricia's voice filled the room, her cruel words casting a chilling shadow over the joyous occasion. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing the cold, manipulative woman that Patricia truly was. I watched as the expressions on my family's faces shifted from shock to disbelief to understanding. For months, Patricia had been a puppet master, pulling at the strings of our lives, and we had been none the wiser. But with the truth laid bare, her puppet show was over. The recordings were a revelation, a turning point in our family dynamic. They revealed Patricia's true colors and stripped her of the power she had so cunningly wielded. The control she had over our lives was shattered, and the family who once looked up to her now saw her for what she truly was, a manipulator. Emma's bravery in revealing the recordings was a testament to her loyalty and courage. She stood by my side, helping me reclaim the control Patricia had stolen from me. These recordings were not just evidence of Patricia's manipulation, they were a symbol of our resistance against her control, our refusal to be her pawns. My family's shocked silence was replaced by murmurs of support and understanding. We were united, stronger than ever, ready to stand against Patricia's manipulative tactics. With the truth out, life had a way of settling the score. Patricia thought she could get away with her manipulation, but karma had other plans. You see, Patricia had built a world around herself, a world where she was queen and everyone else was just a pawn. But the truth has a way of coming out, and Patricia's house of cards began to fall. The same social circles that she'd used to exert her influence turned against her when the truth of her manipulative ways was brought to light. Her wealth, which she had so often used as a weapon, began to dwindle as she faced the legal consequences of her actions. It's ironic, isn't it? The very things she thought gave her power were the first to go when karma came knocking. But here's the real kicker. While Patricia's world crumbled, my true family stood strong. We were united, not by wealth or social status, but by love, respect, and the shared joy of welcoming a new life into our midst. In the end, my ordeal taught me the true meaning of family. It wasn't about who had the most money or who could throw the biggest baby shower. It was about love, respect, and standing up for oneself. My bond with my mother and husband didn't just survive this ordeal, it thrived. We became stronger, forged in the fire of Patricia's manipulation and deceit. My mother, the rock of our family, showed me what it meant to stand firm in the face of adversity. My husband, my partner, stood by my side, showing me that love is about support and understanding, not control and manipulation. Through this ordeal, we found a strength within ourselves we never knew existed. We learned how to stand up to a toxic family member, to set boundaries, and to demand respect. And that, my friends, is how I learned to stand up to a toxic family member and found my strength within.